Hi, welcome to Teach With Me. I am Miss Jen. Today we are going to be working on the next letter in our A to Z directed draw. Today we're on the letter R, and it is a rocket, and then we'll be doing the writing together. You will need a felt tip pen, crayons, and printer paper. Let's begin. The first thing we need to do is make sure our papers are horizontal because we are making a book out of these. All of the A to Z, once they're done, are going to be put together to have into a book. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have the kids find the middle of their paper. I'm going to say find the middle and the very top of your paper. And from that point, we are going to make a triangle. I'm going to say let's make a slanted line to the left, a slanted line to the right, and then we're going to cross it in the center. Now you're going to have some boys and girls who make a large triangle and some who make a smaller one like I just did. My sample one is much larger than this one is, so they're going to be different, and that's okay. They're all going to be different. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a long vertical line that goes not to the bottom but close to the bottom. So it's going to look like this. Just a straight line. This one's one of the easier ones. We've done a few more challenging directed draws. This one is a little bit easier. Now I'm going to come down on the other side and make them stop at the same point. Okay, so now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cross this with a horizontal line. Now we're going to, before we do anything in the middle, we are going to do the bottom and the flames. Okay, so along the bottom, you're going to tell the boys and girls we're going to make two short vertical lines, and then we are going to connect those. They're not going to be as long as the whole rocket. They're going to be slightly smaller. That rectangle is. All right, now we're going to make the flame. So here's how we do that. In the very center, we are going to make kind of a U shape. And then we're going to come and make another shape outside of that U. So right about here, we're going to go and make sort of a zigzaggy line. And it's going to end on the other side. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight. And then outside of this, we're going to make an even bigger one. It's going to go a bigger zigzag, I mean. And you can tell that this is going to look different for everybody. And that's mine. All right, now here's what we're going to do. We are going to begin by coming up to the very top underneath that line we did over here, and we're going to make a small-ish circle. And then we're going to make another circle around that circle. Okay? In the top, we're also going to make a circle. Why? Because we're going to put windows in different places. I don't know if anybody is in that part. I think that's where the astronauts are actually. Anyway, underneath this circle, we are going to make a line, a horizontal line. And then we're going to make another horizontal line right underneath that. All right, then what we're going to do is we're going to come down probably about two-thirds of the way down. So how I would say this to the kids is I would say, take your fingers and you're going to make a pinch how big this is, and then come down and pinch at that same space, and then draw a line right there. And you're not going to get the exact distance. I didn't, but that kind of gives them a distance that they can use. If you don't want to do it that way, you can say you can put your finger down and go about to your knuckle and cross it that way. All right. Now in this middle section, they're going to make a rainbow shape. And then in the center, they're going to make a long, straight, vertical line. Make sure you tell them to stop at that line that you've already drawn. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to draw another line here. And then we're going to do one more separation. On the other side of this line, we're going to continue that line for the doors. All right, now, however big they make this last section, that's how big the wings on this are going to be. So starting here at the top of this line, they're going to make a curved line, and that line is going to stop at the bottom of that rectangle, and it's going to connect. And they're going to do that on the other side. Curved line, stop it at the bottom, and then connect it. Okay, now this is the end of the rocket, but not the end of our picture. So we're not doing a horizon line, obviously, because they're in space. But what we are going to do is we're going to draw some planets. So I'm going to come over here, and how I'm going to do this one is I'm going to draw some wavy lines. And when I color this, each of those wavy lines will be a different color, like a pattern of sorts. And I'll show you in a moment. And then on this side, I'm going to draw another planet. But this time I'm going to draw around it, and I'm going to draw like this. A curved line. This curved line is going to go across the front of the planet like this. And then I'm going to connect it back. So kind of like this. So, I mean, it's not perfect, but it makes it look like there's a ring around it. If you can do this a little better, go ahead. All right, and then throughout here, I'm going to make some stars. Let me show you how I colored this. And you can see I did this one a little differently. This one looks more like a ring. Anyway, so how I colored it is, for this one I used black as my background. I added some little yellow spots to represent stars. For my planet, I did a pattern. And then for this one, I mixed two colors. I was kind of thinking of Jupiter a little bit when I did this. And then this, you can do gray, you can do whatever colors you like. I don't know why, for some reason I mixed like gray and a peach color together. I just liked how it looked. For my flames, I did yellow in the center, orange, and then red on the outside. So maybe the rocket is something that you let the kids decide how they want to color it. It's up to you. All right, so that is it. Now we're on to the writing. All right, if you remember, since it's a book, the paper is attached to this, but if I was doing this in the classroom, I would not attach this until the kids were finished, because as they do this, if they make mistakes, I'm going to erase them. Let me show you what I have. For those who have not been watching the videos, the previous videos, we have gone all the way up to letter R now. The pattern is the same for this. This is not phonics. This is not sounding out words. This is understanding sentences. It's practicing using spacing. It's understanding punctuation. It's penmanship. This is guided writing where I'm correcting mistakes such as letters being formed incorrectly, punctuation not being put, spacing not being used. So that's what this is. Also, because the frame is the same every week, the kids understand the process. So there's no surprises. They begin to feel successful because they understand what to do. So here's what we do with this. The very first thing is whatever our letter is, the sentence is the same. So this week it's R, so it's going to say R is for, and then whatever it was that we drew. So rocket. R is for rocket, so I'm going to say boys and girls. We're going to copy R is for rocket. This would be on the board. Well, I'd have it written large. I just have it on the smaller one to show you. But let me move this to the side. I'm going to write R is for rocket. The kids would be doing this in pencil because that way I can fix any mistakes they make. If they cannot copy off of the board, then I'm going to write it on a piece of lined scratch paper for them. And then what would happen is as they were completing it, they would cross off the word that they had copied. That way they could see what word was next, and that gives them the ability to look at it. I also do it in different colors so that they can look at the board and transfer to their paper better. So once they're finished with the black sentence, I'll say, good job. Here, let me go here. Good job. You wrote all of your words. You have your spaces. You have your period. You are ready for the next sentence. And it's rockets can go very fast. Where do you think I'm going to start my next sentence? Because we've been working on this. We've been working on using up the space on that line if we're writing about the same thing, if we're on the same topic. All right, so rockets. I'm going to start it right here. That's right. Good job. Let's put our finger space, and we're going to make sure that starts with an uppercase letter. Why do we start with an uppercase letter? Because it's a new sentence. Very good. It's the beginning of a sentence. Rockets. Oh, do I have room to write this word? Because that's the word I'm on now. And since it's a small word, and I do have room, but if the kids write a little big, and some of them do, you'll just help them know that they don't have enough space, because we don't want to use this outside space. It's super important that you correct mistakes as they go, because like I said this before, it's so hard to unlearn a learned incorrect behavior. It's better to learn it correctly the first time. All right, rockets can. Now I'm going to say, where do I go next? I was just tutoring someone this morning, and they didn't understand how to write within a line. And so they were writing here, and then down here. And so we really had to work on understanding this. First of all, the left to right progression, as well as that words go together and so forth. So this is all basic, it seems to us, but it's not basic when kids are just learning this. Okay, rockets can go very fast, and I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir. Most of you, probably have done this a gazillion times, but the purpose of these videos is to just help new teachers, to help parents who are homeschooling, or to just give ideas to seasoned teachers. All right, R is, and then we'll read this. Each time we write a sentence, we're going to read it. R is for rocket. Rockets can go very fast. Excellent. Now where are we? Oh, we're on the red sentence. Wow, let's read that first. Did you know the first astronaut flew in 1961? And so I'm going to say, where do you think I'm going to start my sentence? This one's a question. Where am I going to start it? And they'll say, oh, up here, you still have room. Now, if they say down here, I'm going to say, oh, well, we could, but do I still have room up here? So, you just kind of talk them through it. And that is how they learn. All right, did you know? And now, just I want to model real quick. If this was a piece of paper right here and the kids were having trouble, and instead of doing the board, they were doing it on a piece of scratch paper, then as I mentioned a minute ago, they wrote did, so then they cross it off. You, no. Okay, what word am I on now? The. Good job. And then I would have said, where are we going to start that sentence, and so forth. All right, did we know the first astronaut, and I'm going to just do this quickly, flew in 1961. Okay, so once they're finished, I'm going to say, you are so awesome. Look at that. You wrote 3 whole sentences. That is wonderful. And look at your beautiful printing. So you always want to put that praise in there too. Oops. Well, as I mentioned, this is going to go into a book where we have all of them. And I used to display these at open house. I made them a little differently, but they had the writing and they had the artwork with it. But we're doing a different display. When we're all the way finished, I'm going to make a cover and show you how I would do the cover. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you next time.